Zappe Friday.
Yeah, it looks like the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has finally approved Zappe Hour, Curtis. Finally.
You know what I thought when my alarm went off this morning when I felt like it didn't even start? I don't know how that happened. Let's play 2.
What, you mean you were shocked that you
No, I mean
up...
like we're doing 2 shows today.
Oh, I was talking about your alarm thing because if what you're saying is sometimes you can go to sleep and wake up and feel like you got a solid, whatever it was, 7 or 8 hours.
Oh,
Other
okay.
times, even when you got longer, you feel like you just set the alarm. Is that what you're saying?
Right. So
it's an odd phenomenon.
It is. I woke up this morning and I felt like I didn't sleep for a second, but I'm ready to go. And I have to say, it was so enjoyable last night. I forgot what it felt like to watch a team operate relatively well with a quarterback who was thrilled to be there. And the pass to Hunter Henry,
yes,
for that touchdown,
yes.
I would say this. I'm not sure Brady makes that pass. That is the best thing I've ever seen.
Right,
Hey, dropped a dime there.
Chef's kiss.
Unbelievable. And
I was swimming in happiness last night.
Should be.
Really?
Victory
I
lap for
mean,
you.
thank you, Shime, for putting in that clip during the Open. Someone was like, they could beat the Steelers. Steelers don't have a quarterback. And everyone's like,
But you do say that every week.
no.
They could beat this team, man.
No, the Steelers were a special one because I've been picking the Steelers in all of our pick sixes. Mm-hmm. To me, watching him in that first half was, whether it was weather last week or whether he just needed more reps with the starters, still not the answer. But I was very happy with what I saw. The only thing that worried me about him.
How did you feel about the second half?
Well, that's what I was going to say. The only thing that worried me, once he got sacked, it seemed to rattle him a little bit. And he started going down.
Happy.
Hold on a second. Are you saying that a quarterback became mentally rattled?
I thought he looked.
That could be an issue.
Well, yeah,
I mean that could
he
be
was
an
still
issue
smiling
for a quarterback.
he was still smiling and still got the win. So yeah, the interception wasn't great, and then the second one that he almost gave away when he tried to force that play down the sideline. Steelers guy was out of bounds when he caught it. That wasn't great. But other than that,
the first one, I'm not sure if he was trying to throw it to Zeke Elliott and Zeke just ducked.
I didn't think that one
really
was
sure.
his fault.
Yeah, I didn't know whose it was because there was him and Juju in the same area. So I was like, was he trying to throw it to Zeke and then Zeke ducked? But as far as the first half, yeah, the second half was a little bit sketchy. But when you get to the point, I think it's been beaten in his brain. Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. So rather than trying to force something in, he's just going to take sacks.
Yeah.
So
And that's kind of just the MO of that Steelers team, too, is they play like dog crap in the first half, and then they always play better in the second half, especially defensively.
You got a little gift from the officials.
Yeah, you definitely got one there.
The Jelani Tabai offsides.
On the punt, yeah.
But, I mean, you won a football game against, I think, a better team, or at least one that looked like it was a better team going in.
Yeah.
And so, are you happy that they won a football game?
I'm just happy
or would
that
you have preferred that they lost?
Yeah, I'm torn. I am definitely torn.
Greg, I think I speak for most of the listening audience that
Yes, you do, Curtis. You're an every man.
When it comes to the Patriots, I think I do.
Yes.
And I would say that I'm very ecstatic. I'm ecstatic that we are done with sour puss face for the rest of the year. Believe in Zappe. and just seeing that guy, he's probably a mediocre starting quarterback in the NFL. I'm not saying he's the second coming. But two things. Andrew Callahan, spot on. They play for Zappe. You can't describe it. You can't, it's like pornography. You know it when you see it. And secondly, I would say that entire, just the feel around that first half, Juju was reinvigorated. He got full use of his of all of his abilities, and maybe he was just going back to play his old team, but who cares? And Hunter Henry, a guy that we had been questioning whether he was even still engaged on his birthday, happy birthday, awesome. Yeah. And the last thing, Kirk Herbstreit sucks on the NFL.
I told you.
God, is he awful.
I told you.
I didn't mind Al Michaels, though, last night.
Al's cool.
I thought Al took a lot of abuse on the show yesterday, and I thought he did a pretty good job.
Kirk's a college guy.
I mean, every single – Wiggy, you're the tight end. How often do you see a tight end engage with a guy, whether it's a corner or a safety, push off slightly and get into his spot for the route?
Right.
Like in Kirk Herbstreit, the whole first half was like, it's a push-off, offensive pass interference. It's like, go away. Go cover Georgia.
How great was it to watch Bailey at the end, though, hugging Billy O'Brien,
Yeah.
smiling. Like that whole feel of, all right, this is good. It did have a different energy. All the guys seemed really happy. And so they're not worried about the draft pick. They're not thinking that way. So as a fan, yeah, you have to take that into consideration. But to get a win in a season like this, I'm with Curtis. Like, you forgot that feeling of like, oh, this team looks like they're having fun out there. This is fun to watch. This isn't an absolute disaster. I'm not pulling my hair out watching this entire game.
But I am torn though.
Well, yeah,
because,
that's fine.
You know, it is a great win, but luckily
don't keep getting them.
Yeah, like let's not.
I mean,
get
you
too,
won't. You play the Chiefs next week.
Let's
It's
not
fine.
get too excited here. Derek, the Steelers fan, a lot of credit. Pittsburgh, man, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like
Mitch Trubisky stinks.
but
still.
I don't get like Tomlin and having those guys ready to go. You lose.
Tomlin has terrible teams and still has winning records.
Yeah,
That's why.
but you lose to Arizona last week, and then which they were 2-10, and then you lose to New England, who's 2-10, and I think Al Michaels or Herb Street might have talked about it. You're playing for you're a playoff team, and you're losing to two teams that you at home that you shouldn't be losing to.
Consecutive losses to 2-10 teams.
And say what you want about Bill and his handle on being able to relate to some of these players. And, hey, he went to my school, UGA, but George Pickens, and then there was another player. Like, some of these guys are not even given effort. Like, they don't even give – and Tomlin's having a conversation with a kid on the sideline like, can I get some effort out of you? And I don't know. I Derek the Steelers fan's always on it, but I don't know. Like Tomlin, I get it. He's a good coach, but does he really do these players really just walk all over him in a sense of like effort and how they do certain things?
So, for those who wanted Bill's head,
Yeah.
is this win enough to change their mind? I guess I would ask. Those of you who wanted Bill run out of town, and we can talk about that this morning. Does this at all change your mind when it comes to whether he can indeed still coach in the NFL?